So the Pyro test so far has been pretty amazing. I've thoroughly enjoyed it. I like the missions, I like the atmosphere of it. Pretty much, I like everything about Pyro so far, from, well, what I've seen. Unsurprisingly though, there are those that are now whining and complaining about this lawless system on Spectrum. We knew this was coming. If you were to go to the Spectrum right now, there's a very good chance you will see a torrent of crybaby threads from PvE players, and not just your regular PvE people, you know, not the people who like to just, you know, do PvE, right? But the extreme, far left, malicious PvE Care Bear players, and they are out of control. And they're coming at you with the same crap they've been coming at you with for years now, ad nauseum. They're telling about Pyro being this awful griefer system. It's totally lawless. There's no fun here. They're talking about being camped in hangars and all this crap. Too bad. Too friggin' bad. Don't go to Pyro. What you're seeing in Pyro is a very good example of how low or null sec is going to work in Star Citizen in the future. This is not going to change. You can cry, whine, moan, all you want on the forums, whether it's on Reddit or Spectrum. It's not going to change. You are not going to get your single-player PvE server. You are not going to get your private servers. You are not going to get a safe space away from being PvP'd in Star Citizen. That's it. But they do not comprehend this. They don't want to. They don't want a fair game. They're going to mask their arguments behind saying things like, oh, well, real PvPers, they would actually seek out a challenge. They're going to, you know, these people are going to try and define PvP. Of all people, these people crying like children on the forums are going to try and define PvP to you. Let that one sink in. Then they're going to say, oh, well, killing players is not real piracy. You're supposed to be like Captain Jack Sparrow and open terms and negotiations. All this stupid crap. You've seen it before. It will never end. They do not want to create a fun environment for everyone else. They want to create a fun environment for themselves. They want to destroy any and all gameplay elements that they do not agree with. This is the MO of PvE-focused far left leaning. If I say far left, it returns to my horseshoe theory video, not the political leaning, but, you know, maybe there is a bit of a correlation between the extreme left and PvE players. Oops. But I digress. These far PvE leaning players, all they want to do is destroy your game. But don't just take my word for it. Let's take a look at some of these threads here. What I'm looking at right now is titled Pyro and the Need for PvE Servers. It's by a user named the Immortal Kid, and you can see emo in the title, so it checks out. He says, with the release of Pyro and the Pikachu shock face some have had, I think it's clear that CIG needs to rethink PvE-only servers. More servers are going to cost CIG money. The solution? Sell a new monthly subscription called the Total Protection Package. Its cost is used to pay for the extra infrastructure and development needed to maintain these PvE exclusive servers. Then the current experience can be free forever with your game package included as always. I think that's a good compromise. Thoughts? Thoughts? This guy's an idiot. But this is but one of many examples. This doesn't need much elaboration. This guy is either a troll or a complete moron. But let's check out some of the more serious ones. This one's a doozy, and this one will take a lot of time here, but it's by the user Mohan Hedge, titled, Dear PvP Gankers, Pyro is lawless, not ruleless. Crimes and Punishments version 2.0 will be here soon. Just because Pyro is a lawless system doesn't mean that one can go guns blazing wherever and whenever they like. Pyro is a lawless system only from the jurisdiction of the UEE, but it has its own laws and rules and systems to function as a star system in SC's universe. Now, those laws could be from a pirate faction or gang who control the system, but it cannot be 100% lawless, chaotic, psycho mode fireworks all the freaking time. After all, there should be someone alive who's not insane in the system to have it up and running. It cannot be run by stupid, shoot first, ask questions later pirates without any brains. That's for sure. No universe can exist without some kind of rules and regulations and consequences if the rules are broken. Pyro might be a system which is not in the radar of the UEE, but that doesn't mean that there's a constant gang war going on outside the freaking space station 24/7. Gang wars happen for a reason, and they are planned and executed to avoid as much consequences as possible. In the future, if someone murders a player, then there might be a rep hit with one of the factions, and then if the reputation hits super low, the faction might try and eliminate you, or at the very least ban you from transactions or something. If CIG really wanted this to be a ganking paradise in a disguise of quote-unquote piracy, heck, they could even have given each of the NPCs in the checkmate station a freaking railgun and have even the best PvP player get blown to pieces before they could change their hospital gowns. I think very soon, the griefers in for a shock once the reputation mechanics are implemented, and they'll probably start whining about not having the freedom of quote-unquote lawlessness anymore. As always, this person's a moron. But there is a little bit of substance here. But the substance is buried under this concern, trolling, fake care, and concern. This person, as with pretty much all of them making the threads, they do not want a better game. They do not want you, as a PvP player, to ever play the game in a way that they do not agree with. They want to be eternally safe, and they want any situation where you kill them to be so severely punished that you never do it. Make no mistake, there is no interest in fairness here. It is totally one-sided. Remember that when dealing with these cretins. They will lie, they will try to pretend like they're on your side, and then they will stab you in the back to further their own agenda. It has been that way since Ultima Online. It will not change. They are mentally ill. But let's discuss the game. Let's discuss some things here which I think are pretty important. There is one thing I can agree with, and it is reputation. Reputation systems are the most elegant solution to quote-unquote punishing, and I don't like to use that word, but they are the most elegant solution to punishing or deterring players from mindless violence. The player still has the freedom and the choice to participate in mindless violence if they so choose, or if the circumstance dictates that they do that, and that's totally fine. But you should lose some type of reputation or make your stake known that you stand with this faction. For example, I'm going to be standing with Xenothreat. There you go. I said it. I love Xenothreat, alright? I'm a Xenothreat believer. If I'm doing faction missions in Pyro for Xenothreat, the only thing I want is total death for anyone outside of Xenothreat. And I want the game to recognize that. And by recognize that, I do not only just want more rewards and incentives to continue my loyalty towards the Xenothreat, but I also want the quote-unquote punishment to come in the form of being stopped from using any other stations, buying any goods, using their stations to fuel or anything. I want to be outright kill on sight by any NPC or player associated with the other factions. I want a faction system. Whether it is hard factions, like Planetside 1 or Dark Age of Camelot, or it is the soft factions like what I think this game is going towards now. You cannot have a sandbox where you have a system where you just cannot just kill anybody. It has to be there. The consequences should also be there. If I kill enough people in Stanton, I want to be barred from ever entering Stanton without either being smuggled in, sneaking in, or attacked by the UEE Navy on site. But I also want to have the option, if I have the power and the logistics and the organization behind me, to invade Stanton. That is my dream. I do not want to take people's cargo and do any of that silly Jack Sparrow stuff. I want to invade Stanton and kill all the players there, and I want the game to recognize that, and I want the reputation to recognize that. If I can never ever in my life, as I play Star Citizen, ever go to Stanton without being attacked by the Navy as a result of my actions, I am fine with that. But I do not ever want to see safe spaces where players are impervious to damage from other players. That is ridiculous. But that is what they want. And if you cannot see how that type of attitude, that type of development will destroy Star Citizen, then why are you backing? What do you want? Do you want Elite Dangerous? Do you want your own private server where nobody can bother you? Go play Starfield. All right, go play that. Go play Skyrim. Go play any multitude of single-player trash games where you can live out your freaking power fantasy and never worry about being killed by a player. Keep that crap out of Star Citizen. How many games, good games, not soulless husks of garbage, daily grinders like World of Warcraft or anything else, how many good MMO games do you think have actually been killed by the endless, incessant crying and whining and moaning of these Care Bear players? Tons of them. Do not let Star Citizen be another one. It does not deserve that.